What you see around you right now is nothing more than the echo of past thoughts, old beliefs, and yesterday's assumptions. It is a photograph of a moment long gone, a snapshot of a mind you no longer have to live with. The greatest error you can make is to look at this picture and call it truth. The truth is not what is before your eyes. The truth is what you hold in the quiet of your imagination. The truth is the scene you dare to inhabit, the story you choose to tell yourself. The world will show you the reflection of your inner state, but only after a delay. So if you want tomorrow to look different, you must stop letting today dictate how you feel. Ignore your reality. It will try to speak loudly. It will wave its hands and demand your attention. It will tell you what's real, what's possible, and what's likely. But reality is a poor prophet. It only knows the past. You are the creator of the future. So just keep assuming. Assume that the desire is already fulfilled. Walk through your days as the one who has already received it. When you wake up in the morning, feel the satisfaction of it. When you go to bed at night, rest in the comfort of it. Let your assumption be more real to you than any circumstance. At first, your senses will argue. They will show you a bank account you don't like, a relationship you don't yet have, a body you wish were different. Smile at these things, for they are only the fading remnants of a life you have outgrown. Do not fight them, do not fear them, just ignore them. Then keep living in the end. Keep seeing yourself where you wish to be, not where you are. Keep feeling the joy as if it were already yours. If you persist in this way, the old reality will crumble, and the new one, your chosen one, will rise to take its place. Your only task is to hold to the vision. Everything else is a distraction. Ignore your reality and keep assuming. What stands before you in this moment is not a measure of your worth, your potential, or your destiny. It is simply a reflection of what you once believed, once felt, once assumed about yourself and the world. Every circumstance you see right now is the result of old mental patterns, thoughts that have already done their work. It is the past wearing the costume of the present. And just like the shadow on the ground lags behind the person who casts it, your current reality lags behind your inner state. You must understand, the present conditions are not telling you who you are, but who you were. They are echoes, delayed responses, fragments of an old script you've already outgrown. And if you allow yourself to judge your future based on this shadow, you will chain yourself to a cycle that repeats endlessly. This is why it is so vital to stop reacting to what is and start creating from what will be. Your outer world is always one step behind your inner world. By the time you can see, hear, or touch a thing, it has already been set in motion by an earlier state of mind. This means that whatever displeases you right now is not your enemy. It is simply outdated. Like an old photograph, it no longer represents your living truth. The danger comes when you forget this and begin to emotionally engage with what you dislike. The moment you give it your attention, your fear, or your frustration, you begin planting the seeds to experience more of it. The wise creator does not take present circumstances as an instruction for how to feel. They know that feelings are the blueprint of tomorrow. So they refuse to let the current picture dictate their mood. Instead, they withdraw their focus from the unwanted and place it firmly on the unseen vision they have chosen. They treat the present like a letter that was mailed weeks ago. It has already been written. They know that if they want a different letter tomorrow, they must write something new today. When you understand this, life changes. You no longer panic when something unwanted appears because you know it is already on its way out. You no longer rush to fix the outer because you know the inner has already taken care of it. You stop begging circumstances to change and instead tend to the only thing that truly matters, your state of being. This is the power of detachment from the old. You don't fight it, you don't hate it, you simply recognize that it's not current, not alive, not defining you anymore. You thank it for its message. It is here to show you where you once stood, and then you move on. You live mentally from the place you wish to be, and you hold to it with quiet persistence. In time, the old fades away entirely, and the world catches up to the self you have already become. Then you'll see with your own eyes, reality was never telling you the truth, it was only telling you the past. Everything begins in the unseen. Before any event unfolds, before any change is witnessed, before any dream becomes tangible, it exists in the quiet realm of thought and belief. The invisible always comes first. Your mind is the soil, and every assumption you hold is a seed planted deep within it. Whether you plant seeds of fear or seeds of faith, they will take root. Whether you nurture visions of lack or visions of abundance, they will grow. The world you walk through is nothing more than the harvest of what you have been growing inside. The mistake most people make is to judge life only by what they can see. They forget that what is visible is already the end of a process, not the beginning. The tree is not born when you notice it. It began long ago as a seed beneath the surface. Likewise, the success, the love, the health you desire will not appear out of nowhere. It is born the moment you assume it is already yours, the moment you feel the reality of it in your inner world. This is why you must be intentional with the seeds you plant. Every thought charged with emotion, every assumption you accept as truth, is dropped into the fertile soil of your subconscious, and once it's planted, it grows, whether you notice it or not. If you spend your days replaying fears, expecting disappointment, or believing in limitations, you are watering weeds. These weeds do not ask your permission to grow. They thrive in the attention you give them, but you have the choice to plant something different. You can choose to assume that your desire is already a reality. You can choose to hold that assumption as if it was sacred, tending to it daily with your thoughts and feelings. When doubt appears, you refuse to feed it. When appearances contradict your vision, you remind yourself that they are simply the remnants of old seeds, and you let them pass without attention. It is not your job to dig up the seed every day to see if it's growing. In fact, doing so only delays the process. Your task is to water it with belief, to keep the soil warm with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to protect it from the weeds of fear and frustration. The harvest will come in its own time. You cannot rush the unfolding any more than you can force a flower to bloom before it is ready. When you truly grasp this, you stop living as a victim of circumstances. You stop being fooled by the outer world because you know the invisible comes first. The moment you claim it within, the seed is planted, the harvest is inevitable. So stop tending to weeds. Stop feeding the unwanted with your attention. Instead, water your seed with faith, nurture it with gratitude, and trust that what you cannot yet see is already alive beneath the surface, growing into the life you have chosen. The moment you decide what you want, your task is not to wait for proof. It is to live from the end as if the desire were already fulfilled. The greatest mistake is to stand still, scanning the world for signs, measuring progress by outer changes. This keeps you in a state of waiting, and waiting only creates more waiting. Instead, you must step into the role now, mentally and emotionally embodying the person who already has the thing you desire. You cannot think of yourself as poor and expect to live in wealth. You cannot see yourself as unloved and expect to be cherished. You cannot carry the feeling of someday and expect the gift to arrive today. What you hold in your mind and heart becomes your reality. Not what you wish for in the distance, but what you claim in the present. When you assume it's done, you stop approaching your desire as a request and start approaching it as a fact. This is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe through sheer willpower. It is about entering into a state of being where you naturally feel the truth of your assumption. You do this by asking yourself, if I already had it, how would I think? How would I walk? How would I speak to others? How would I treat myself? Then you live according to those answers, even if your senses try to convince you otherwise. At first, this may feel strange, because your outer reality will still carry the residue of the old state. But do not be discouraged. Outer conditions are slow to catch up. They are the shadow, not the substance. The substance is the inner state you hold unwaveringly. Your mind is the director, the world is the stage. The moment you accept the role inwardly, the scene begins to change outwardly. Do not wait for circumstances to give you permission to feel successful, happy, loved, or abundant. Decide to feel it now. When you live from that inner certainty, the world will mirror it back to you in ways you could never predict. Opportunities will arise, people will respond differently, and events will arrange themselves in your favor, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with the version of you who already lives in that reality. The key is persistence. You cannot step into the role for an hour and then return to doubt for the rest of the day. Hold the state as naturally as you hold your own name. Carry it in your posture, your words, and your inner dialogue. If you fall into old patterns, gently return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you assume as if it's done, you collapse the gap between desire and experience. You are no longer someone trying to get there, you are someone who is already there in consciousness, and the world has no choice but to follow. The evidence will appear, but only after you've stopped looking for it and started living from it. There will always be voices, some from others, some from within, that try to tell you what is possible and what is not. They will measure your potential by your current situation, by your past failures, or by their own limited vision. If you allow these voices to dictate your thinking, you will find yourself trapped in the same reality they believe in. The truth is, those outer opinions and visible circumstances are powerless unless you give them power through your attention and acceptance. The outer voice often comes disguised as common sense, practical advice, or just being realistic. But what it is really doing is binding you to the known and the visible, keeping you from stepping into the unseen, where your desire is already alive. If you want to create something new, you must learn to silence these outer voices. You do not silence them by arguing or convincing others to agree with you. You silence them by withdrawing your mental and emotional energy from their words. Your senses too will try to persuade you. They will present you with facts, numbers, and images that seem immovable. They will whisper, "Look, nothing has changed. This is your reality." But your senses are reporters of the past, not prophets of the future. They can only confirm what has already been created through your previous states of mind. If what you see and hear contradicts your desire, remind yourself that it is only the fading echo of old beliefs. This is why inner discipline is so important. You must become the guardian of your own mind. When doubt tries to speak, you gently turn your attention back to the vision you've chosen. When fear presents its case, you refuse to sit in its courtroom. When people insist that you are foolish for believing in what they cannot see, you silently bless them and return to your inner knowing. The power to manifest is not found in convincing the world to support your dream. It is found in convincing yourself so completely that the world has no choice but to rearrange itself accordingly. This is why you must not let the noise of others or the evidence of your senses shake your conviction. Every moment you allow yourself to be swayed by the outer world, you water the seeds of doubt. But every moment you hold fast to your chosen assumption, you strengthen the roots of your new reality. There will be times when the silence feels lonely, when it seems easier to agree with the loudest voice or to surrender to the facts. But remember, every great change begins in solitude, in the quiet place where belief is nurtured without interference. So guard that place, protect it. Keep it free from the weeds of doubt and fear. Ignore the doubters. Ignore the circumstances. Ignore even the reports of your own senses if they disagree with your desire. The only voice that matters is the one within you that says, "It is done." To live in the end is to anchor yourself in the state of your wish already fulfilled, making it so real within that it becomes the place you live from, rather than the place you hope to reach. Most people live their lives always moving toward their desires, imagining them as distant goals that will happen someday, if circumstances align. But when you live in the end, you remove the distance. You claim the end result now, in thought and feeling, and you let that state define your decisions, your actions, and your inner dialogue every single day. The key is to make this end state your mental home, not a fleeting daydream you visit occasionally, but a dwelling place you return to in every moment. Just as your physical home surrounds you with familiarity, comfort, and a sense of belonging, your mental home in the end result must give you that same feeling of certainty and stability. You are not wishing for it anymore. You are living it now. Thinking toward the desire keeps it in the future. It says, "I'm not there yet, but one day I will be." This posture of waiting only reinforces separation between you and your desire. Thinking from the desire, however, assumes you are already there. It says, "I am this now. I have this now. It is mine now." From that position, your actions, words, and expectations naturally align with the reality you have claimed. When you make the end your home, you stop reacting to the old world as if it still has authority over you. If your bank account does not yet reflect wealth, you do not panic. You know you are already the person who lives in abundance, and so the numbers must eventually match that truth. If you have not yet seen evidence of the relationship you desire, you do not despair. You know you are already loved, chosen, and cherished in the reality you have chosen to inhabit. The challenge for most is persistence. It's easy to visit the end when you feel good, but to live there daily requires discipline. Outer conditions will tempt you to leave that place, to step back into doubt, to measure your progress by what you see, but you must refuse. You must return again and again to your end state until it feels more real than anything your senses can report. Over time, this mental home becomes second nature. You stop looking for signs because you no longer need them. You are living the reality within yourself so completely that the outer must eventually conform. And when it does, it will feel natural, as though it was always yours. Living in the end daily is not pretending. It is choosing your truth and dwelling in it until the world catches up. Make your final wish your home, and soon the outer world will deliver the exact address you have been living at in your mind. Persistence is the quiet, unwavering decision to hold to your chosen assumption, regardless of what the world shows you. It is the understanding that the outer world is slow to reflect inner change, and that during this delay, the old reality may still appear strong, solid, and unshakable. Many people abandon their vision in this waiting period, thinking nothing is happening, when in truth everything is already in motion beneath the surface. The old reality is like a shadow. It lingers for a while even after the light has shifted. Just because you cannot yet see the new conditions does not mean they are not on their way. In fact, the very moment you have assumed your desire as true, the process of creation begins. But if you look for constant proof, you pull yourself out of the state that makes fulfillment inevitable. Proof is the harvest. Assumption is the seed. The seed does not need you to keep digging it up. It needs you to trust. It will grow. Persistence means living in your chosen reality even when the evidence screams otherwise. It means refusing to let the temporary appearance of the old state dictate how you feel or what you believe. This is not stubbornness for its own sake. It is loyalty to the vision you have chosen. When the outer contradicts you, you do not argue with it. You simply ignore it and return to the inner world, where the desire is already fulfilled. There will be times when nothing seems to be moving. You may feel like you are standing still while your vision remains far away. In those moments, remember that movement is happening in ways you cannot yet perceive. The world of form is rearranging itself, people and events are aligning, and unseen doors are preparing to open. Your only job is to keep the inner state alive, to remain the person who already has what they desire, even in the absence of proof. Persistence is also a test of faith. Not faith in luck or chance, but faith in the law that the inner creates the outer. If you know this to be true, there is no reason to give in to impatience or doubt. Time becomes irrelevant because the outcome is certain. The only variable is whether you will hold your assumption long enough for it to solidify into fact. When you persist, you become unshakable. You no longer chase proof because you understand it must appear. You stop measuring your progress by what is visible and start measuring it by your ability to remain in the state you have chosen. And then, one day, the world bends to your assumption so naturally that it feels as if it could never have been any other way. The old reality fades like a dream, and the new one stands before you, not because you demanded proof, but because you persisted until proof had no choice but to arrive. In the end, the power to transform your life lies not in reacting to what you see, but in mastering what you assume. Reality, as it stands today, is nothing more than the echo of past beliefs, a delayed reflection of states you no longer need to accept. The invisible comes first, for every change begins in the unseen realm of thought and feeling. By assuming as if your desire is already done, silencing the outer voices, living in the end daily, and persisting without the need for proof, you position yourself as the true creator of your experience. The world may resist at first. The illusion of the old may seem stubborn. But if you hold your assumption with faith and persistence, reality will bend. It always does. Your role is not to chase, beg, or plead. It is to choose, believe, and remain. The inner must be honored before the outer can reflect it. And the moment you live from your chosen state, the rest becomes inevitable. Stay loyal to your vision. Ignore what contradicts it. And trust that what you have claimed within is already yours. The world will catch up. Thank you for listening. Close your eyes for a moment and silence the noise of the world. Listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. There is a power, a presence that has always been with you. It is not outside, it is not in the sky, it is not in a distant place. It is within. This power has been waiting for you to recognize it, to call upon it, to allow it to express itself through you. When you allow God in, miracles begin. But understand this, God does not force his way into your life. He is not knocking on the door, demanding entry. No, God is waiting for you to open the door from within. The moment you do, everything changes. You have been conditioned to believe that miracles are rare, that they happen to the chosen few. But I tell you, miracles are the natural order of life. They are not outside of you, they are born from within you. The only thing that keeps you from them is your belief in separation. You say, I hope, but do you know? You say, I want, but do you believe? The moment you surrender to the divine within, the moment you truly accept that God and you are one, the impossible becomes possible. What you thought was lost returns. What you believed was out of reach is suddenly placed in your hands. What seemed hopeless is infused with new life. The world will tell you to look outward, to struggle, to fight. But I tell you, be still and know. The moment you stop striving and start trusting, the moment you stop doubting and start knowing, God moves through you. And when God moves through you, miracles are inevitable. Stop asking how, stop asking when, simply accept. Walk as if the blessing is already yours. Speak as if the door has already opened. Love as if the healing has already taken place. And watch as the world bends to reflect the truth you now embody. You do not need permission. You do not need proof. You need only allow. When you allow God in, miracles are not something you seek. They are something you live. Now go and live your miracle. There is a profound difference between wishing for something and knowing it is already yours. Most people live in a state of longing, hoping that their prayers will be answered. But true faith does not beg, it does not plead, it assumes. It walks, speaks, and acts as though the desire has already been fulfilled. When you allow God into your life, you are not merely inviting an external force, you are awakening the divine power that has always existed within you. And this power responds to the certainty of your assumption. Assumption is not mere positive thinking, it is the embodiment of a reality before it is seen with the eyes. Imagine a woman who desires a child. If she truly believes in her heart that she will be a mother, she does not spend her days doubting, fearing, or questioning whether it will happen. Instead, she prepares. She nurtures the idea, speaks as if it is already so, and moves with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the promise is already fulfilled. The same principle applies to all things in life. Whether you desire love, success, healing, or peace, you must first assume the state of already having it. The world teaches you to believe only in what you can see, but faith teaches you to see with an inner vision. Consider a seed planted in the soil. At first, there is nothing visible, no sign of growth, no proof that anything is happening beneath the surface. But the gardener does not doubt. He waters the seed, nurtures the soil, and trusts that, in due time, the plant will emerge. He assumes its growth even before it breaks through the ground. Your desires function the same way. When you assume that what you seek is already yours, you are watering the seed of that reality. Every thought, every belief, every action must align with this assumption. If you desire financial abundance, you must abandon the mindset of lack and step into the consciousness of wealth. If you seek love, you must assume you are already deeply cherished and move through the world with that awareness. If you long for healing, you must assume wholeness, refusing to give power to illness. Doubt is the only barrier that separates you from your miracle. The moment you question whether it will happen, you uproot the seed before it has a chance to grow. But when you persist in the assumption, when you refuse to waver, reality must conform. The divine within you cannot be denied. What you claim as yours in consciousness must manifest in form. This is not blind faith, it is the law of creation. Everything you have ever received, whether good or bad, has come as a result of what you have assumed to be true. Your life is a reflection of your deepest convictions. Change your assumption and you change your world. Assume that God has already answered, that your desire is already fulfilled, and watch as the unseen becomes seen before your very eyes. You have been taught to search outside yourself for answers, to look to the world for signs, for validation, for proof that what you desire is coming. But this is the greatest illusion. The power that creates, the force that moves mountains, the divine intelligence that breathes life into all things, it is not separate from you. It is within you. It has always been within you, waiting for you to recognize it, to trust it, to allow it to unfold through you. Most people believe that miracles are rare, that they happen only by chance or to those who are somehow more worthy. But the truth is, miracles are the natural expression of divine power, and that power resides in you. You were never meant to struggle, to chase, to beg for the things your heart longs for. The moment you realize that everything you seek is already contained within your own being, you step into a new level of existence. Think of a tree. A small seed, when planted, holds within it the complete blueprint of its future. It does not need anything outside of itself to become what it is meant to be. It only needs the right conditions to grow. In the same way, everything you desire, every dream you hold, already exists in seed form within you. Your only task is to cultivate the inner knowing that it is already yours, to align with the truth that the kingdom of God is within you. People search for love, for wealth, for healing, for peace, as though these things are distant, as though they must be pursued and grasped, but that very search keeps them in a state of lack. The moment you look outside yourself for fulfillment, you declare to the universe that you do not yet have it. And so the world mirrors that belief back to you. But when you turn inward and claim the power that is already yours, when you understand that nothing is missing, that everything you need is already present in consciousness, then the outer world must shift to reflect this truth. You do not need to look to others for answers. You do not need to wait for a sign. The sign is the knowing within you. The answer is the quiet voice that tells you it is done. The world may tell you to seek, to chase, to fight, but the truth is much simpler. Be still and know. Be still and recognize that you already possess all that you desire. Be still and trust that the divine within you has already made the way. When you stop searching, you find. When you stop begging, you receive. When you stop doubting, you see with clarity that everything is unfolding perfectly. The kingdom is not outside of you. It is not in another person, not in a distant future, not in something you must attain. It is here, it is now. And the moment you accept this truth, miracles are no longer something you wait for, they become the life you live. From the moment you were born, you were conditioned to believe in separation, that God is somewhere far away, that divine power exists outside of you, watching over you but not within you. You were taught to pray as if you were pleading with a distant force, hoping it would hear your cries and grant your desires. But this illusion is the greatest barrier to the life you were meant to live. There is no separation between you and God. The divine is not apart from you. It is within you, expressing itself as you. To understand this is to step into your true power. When you see yourself as separate, you live in limitation. You believe you must struggle, earn, and prove your worthiness before God will grant you what you seek. But when you know that you and the divine are one, everything changes. You no longer ask whether something is possible. You know it is. You no longer beg for blessings. You realize they are already yours. The very breath within you is evidence of this oneness. The force that moves the sun, that holds the stars in place, that beats your heart without your conscious effort, that same force is the essence of your being. You are not a weak, powerless being at the mercy of external forces. You are a divine creator shaping your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. The only thing that keeps you from experiencing the fullness of this power is your belief that you are separate from it. Look at nature. The ocean does not question whether it is part of the whole. A wave does not struggle to become water, it simply is. A tree does not fight to connect to its roots. It naturally draws from the source that nourishes it. You too are already connected to the source of all life, but you must recognize it. The moment you stop seeing yourself as separate, you step into the effortless flow of creation. Think of a drop of water in the ocean. Though it appears to be small and individual, it is not separate from the whole. The power of the ocean is within it. Likewise, the divine is not something you must reach for, it is what you already are. The same intelligence that created the universe flows through you. The same power that spoke the world into existence speaks through you. When you accept this, you no longer live in fear. You no longer wait for miracles. You become the source of miracles. So what does this mean for your life? It means you must stop doubting yourself. Stop seeking power outside of you. Stop believing that your desires are distant or out of reach. Everything you need is already within you because you and God are one. The moment you fully accept this, you unlock the limitless potential that has always been yours. You no longer live as a seeker, you live as the embodiment of divine power itself. There is a secret known to those who create effortlessly, a truth that changes everything once you grasp it. It is this: you must live in the end. The world teaches you to wait, to hope, to wonder when your desires will come to pass. But creation does not work that way. What you seek is not something to be chased or earned, it is something to be assumed, embodied and accepted as already done. When you can see yourself as the person who already has what you desire, when you feel it as real, when you walk in that state of being, then and only then will it manifest in your world. Most people believe they will feel happy once their desires are fulfilled, that they will finally feel secure, loved, or successful once the external conditions change. But this is living backward. You do not wait for circumstances to bring you the feeling. You must first cultivate the feeling, and then the circumstances will follow. If you want love, you must first become love. If you desire abundance, you must first embody the consciousness of abundance. If you seek success, you must first assume the mindset of one who is already successful. Think of an actor preparing for a role. He does not merely recite the lines. He fully immerses himself in the character, feeling every emotion, moving as that person would move, thinking as they would think. And the more deeply he steps into that role, the more real it becomes. In the same way, you must step into the role of the person you wish to be. Not in the future, not someday, but now. Because time, as you understand it, is an illusion. Everything already exists. The version of you who has what you desire is already real. Your task is to align with that version, to claim it as your own, and to live from that state. Consider a woman who longs for a loving relationship. If she constantly thinks, "I am lonely, I am waiting for love, I hope it comes soon," she is reinforcing the state of lack. But if she shifts her assumption, if she begins to think, "I am deeply loved, I am cherished, I am already in the relationship I desire," and she truly feels it to be so, her reality must conform. She will move through the world differently, radiate a different energy, and attract exactly what she has assumed. Living in the end requires trust. It requires you to believe in the unseen, to hold firm in your assumption even when there is no physical evidence. The outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state, and once the inner world is shifted, the outer must follow. The seed does not sprout the moment it is planted, but the gardener does not doubt its growth. He waters it, nurtures it, knowing that in time it must appear. So, if you seek change, do not wait for signs, do not search for proof. Assume it, feel it, live in it, and it will be so. Miracles happen when you embody the reality of your desire before it manifests. This is the way of creation. This is how the unseen becomes seen. Doubt is the silent thief of dreams. It whispers in the background, questioning, delaying, and ultimately destroying what could have been yours. The moment you allow doubt to take root, you begin to push your miracle away. Not because it is unattainable, not because it was never meant for you, but because doubt is the very force that blocks what is already trying to reach you. If faith creates, then doubt dismantles. If faith builds, then doubt erodes. You must understand that your reality is a reflection of what you persistently assume to be true. And doubt, if entertained, will shape your world just as powerfully as faith. Faith is not passive hope. Faith is certainty. It is knowing beyond all appearances that what you have declared is already done. It does not waver. It does not look for validation from the outside world, and it does not shrink in the face of obstacles. Faith is an unshakable conviction that the unseen is just as real as what your physical senses perceive. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the force that bends reality to your will. Think of a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. If he doubts his vision, if he hesitates, if he second guesses every strike, his creation remains unfinished. But if he holds firm to the image in his mind and acts with unwavering confidence, the masterpiece takes form. Your reality is no different. Every thought, every belief, every assumption is shaping it. The question is, are you sculpting with faith or with doubt? Most people struggle because they allow their faith to fluctuate. They believe one day, then doubt the next. They visualize their desires, but then let fear creep in when things don't appear to change immediately. They waver, they question. They look to the external world for proof before they believe. And in doing so, they create a cycle of delay. But reality does not respond to uncertainty. The moment you decide, the moment you claim something is already yours, the universe begins to shift to reflect that decision. Consider a farmer who plants a seed. He does not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. He does not question whether the sun will rise or whether the rain will come. He trusts the process. He has faith that what is planted will bear fruit in due time. The same is true of your desires. If you plant a seed of faith and nurture it with unwavering belief, it must manifest. But if you dig it up with doubt, you kill it before it has the chance to grow. So, ask yourself, are you waiting for proof before you believe? Are you allowing doubt to creep in and delay your miracle? Or are you holding firm in the certainty that what you desire is already yours? Miracles are not random. They are the natural result of faith so strong that reality has no choice but to conform. Hold that faith, do not waver, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. Imagination is not a mere tool for daydreaming. It is the creative power of God working through you. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the force that shapes your reality. Everything you persistently hold in your mind's eye will in time become the world you live in. This is not a philosophy, this is a law. The greatest secret of all time is that God does not work outside of you, God works through you, through the power of your imagination. Most people believe that miracles are rare, unpredictable events that happen by chance. But miracles are simply the outpicturing of your deepest convictions. Whatever you accept as real in your imagination will be made manifest. The world you experience today is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you want to change your life, you must first change the images you hold within. Look around you. Every invention, every creation, every great achievement first began in someone's imagination. The buildings you see, the technology you use, the books you read, all were once unseen, existing only in the mind of the Creator. But because these visions were persistently held and believed in, they took shape in the external world. The same law applies to your life. Whether you realize it or not, you are always imagining something. The question is, are you imagining what you desire, or are you imagining what you fear? If you constantly replay images of failure, rejection, or limitation in your mind, you are unknowingly creating more of those experiences. But if you dare to see yourself as already successful, already loved, already abundant, then life must mirror that assumption. Imagination sets the blueprint for your reality. When you persistently dwell in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you summon divine forces to bring it into being. Think of a child who plays pretend. When a child imagines being a superhero or a queen, they do not question it. They fully embody the role, feeling the emotions, acting as if it is real, and for them it is real. They understand something that most adults have forgotten. Imagination is not separate from reality. It is the cause of reality. Your mind is the temple where creation begins. What you repeatedly visualize with faith and feeling must externalize. But if you allow doubt, fear, or negative assumptions to take root, you delay the manifestation of your desires. This is why it is crucial to guard your imagination. Do not allow it to be hijacked by the world around you. Do not allow circumstances to dictate what you believe. Instead, deliberately create the reality you want by assuming it is already yours. God's power is not something outside of you. It is within, waiting for you to use it. Miracles are not given, they are created. And the moment you take control of your imagination, the moment you see yourself as already having what you desire, the universe will respond. Persist in the vision, and reality will conform. When you allow God in, miracles are inevitable, not because they are rare or mysterious, but because they are the natural result of unwavering faith, divine imagination, and the realization that you and God are one. Stop searching outside yourself for proof. The power is within you. Whatever you assume to be true, whatever you persistently hold in your mind's eye, will become your reality. Doubt destroys, but faith creates. Live in the end, trust the process, and know that what you seek is already yours. There is no accident in your presence here today. You have been led to this moment not by chance, but by the silent working of your own imagination. The world you see before you is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you have entertained. And now I tell you, your time has come. You are no longer waiting. The millions you seek are already yours. But you must first accept this truth, not with the rational mind that questions and doubts, but with the inner knowing that what you claim within must manifest without. You do not need to chase, beg, or toil endlessly for your wealth. The moment you assume yourself to be the one who has it, the entire universe conspires to make it so. See yourself now as the one who has already received. Feel the weight of success pressing upon you, the joy of financial freedom coursing through your being. Walk through this world as one who has no lack, no need, no limitation. Because what you assume with conviction becomes the law of your life. If you persist in the feeling of already having, it is impossible for the world not to comply. Doubt not. Let no external appearance shake you. If today your senses tell you a different story, ignore them. Do not look at the world and say, I am still waiting. Instead, say to yourself boldly, it is done. Gratitude is the bridge. Speak as if you are already in possession of your wealth. Say, I am so thankful for the millions flowing into my life. I feel the abundance surrounding me. Speak it until your words become flesh. The path is already laid before you. Your time is no longer in some distant future. Your time is now. Walk in faith. Claim your millions within and watch as the world bends to fulfill your assumption. Everything you see, touch, and experience in this world is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you have persistently held within. The reality you call real is in truth nothing but a shadow cast by your imagination. There is no outside force shaping your life, no external authority deciding whether you will have wealth or struggle. The only determining factor is the state of consciousness you choose to occupy. You are not separate from your desires. The millions you seek are not something outside of you waiting for the right conditions to appear. They already exist, but they must first exist within you before they can take shape in the physical world. The moment you assume and accept wealth as your reality, the outer world must rearrange itself to mirror that assumption. There is no other way. The mistake many make is in believing that their imagination is simply a form of fantasy, an escape from reality. But this is the great misunderstanding. Imagination is the only reality, because it is the source of all things. Everything that exists, every building, every piece of technology, every fortune ever made, first existed in someone's imagination before it took form. Nothing comes into being unless it is first claimed in the unseen. So what does this mean for you? It means that you must assume the state of the millionaire now before your senses confirm it. You must walk as though wealth is already yours, speak as though you already have it, and think from the position of one who possesses limitless abundance. If you continue to believe that you must work towards it, or that it is something you may have one day, you will forever push it into the future. Live in the end. See yourself in possession of the millions. What does your life look like now that you have it? Where do you live? How do you feel? Who do you help? The clearer you define this reality within, the faster it solidifies in the external world. Do not concern yourself with the how or when. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally, in ways you cannot predict, but that is not your work. Your work is to hold the assumption firmly, unshaken by any contradiction in the present moment. Doubt is the only thing that delays the process. If you look at your current circumstances and allow them to dictate your belief, you have made the outer world your master instead of the servant it was meant to be. The physical world only reflects, it does not create. To change the reflection, you must change what is projected from within. Your millions are already here, waiting for you to accept them. The moment you embody the feeling of being wealthy, the moment you claim it as your truth, the world must comply. The law is simple. What you assume and persist in must harden into fact. So, assume wisely, persist faithfully, and let the world conform to the reality you have created within. The greatest deception in this world is the belief that time separates you from your desires. You have been conditioned to think in terms of waiting, striving, and earning, believing that what you seek is always in the future, just out of reach. But this is an illusion. The truth is that there is no separation between you and your desires, except the belief that they are not yet yours. The moment you claim something is true within, it is yours, for creation is finished, and everything already exists in the unseen. When you desire wealth, you are not creating it from nothing, you are simply becoming aware of what already exists in another dimension of reality. It is not something that must be built over time, achieved through struggle, or brought forth by external conditions. Your millions exist now, but they can only become visible when you assume the state of already having them. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law by which all things come into being. Most people delay their blessings by constantly acknowledging their current limitations. They believe that their bank account, job, or circumstances dictate what is possible. But the outer world is just a reflection of past assumptions. If you continue to dwell on the lack, if you keep telling yourself that wealth is coming one day, you are unknowingly pushing it away. You must take possession now, not tomorrow, not next year, but in this very moment. How do you do this? You shift your awareness. Right now, close your eyes and imagine yourself already in possession of great wealth. Feel the joy, the relief, the confidence that comes with knowing you have more than enough. Hear the conversations you would have. Experience the ease with which you move through life. This is not daydreaming. This is the creative act. When you persist in this state, it must become your external reality, for the world cannot help but mirror what you are conscious of being. Doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. The mind, conditioned by time, will ask, but where is it? Why hasn't it appeared yet? These questions keep you bound to the illusion that you are separate from your desire. The truth is that your assumption is already working. The unseen forces are moving, aligning circumstances, creating the path. But if you look at the world and say, nothing is happening, you are stepping out of the state of having and back into the state of waiting. There is nothing to wait for. Your wealth exists now, and it belongs to you the moment you accept it. You must not concern yourself with how it will come or when it will appear. Trust in the law. That which you assume and persist in must become fact. When you embrace this truth and live from it, time will dissolve, and what once seemed distant will be right before you. The promise is now. Claim it. The greatest barrier between you and your desires is the need to control how and when they appear. You have been taught to believe that success comes through effort, strategy, and external action, but this is a misunderstanding of how reality works. Your wealth, your abundance, already exists, but it cannot reach you as long as you are consumed with figuring out how it will come and when it will happen. The moment you let go of these questions and rest in the certainty of already having, the unseen forces will move in ways beyond your comprehension to bring it to you. The mind, conditioned by logic and limitation, wants a step-by-step process. It seeks reassurance, asking, what do I need to do? How will this happen? But these questions arise from doubt, and doubt is the only thing that delays manifestation. When you truly understand the power of your assumption, you will no longer need to ask how or when. You will know that once you claim something in consciousness, it must appear in your world. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that nature is at work, even though you cannot see the process unfolding beneath the soil. The same principle applies to your desires. The moment you assume yourself to be wealthy, the moment you feel it as true, the process has begun. But if you constantly question whether it is working, if you look around and say, "I don't see anything changing," you are uprooting the seed before it has a chance to grow. The unseen forces, those greater laws that govern all of existence, will move in ways you cannot predict. Your job is not to force the path, but to remain faithful to the end result. Your millions could come through an unexpected opportunity, a sudden breakthrough, or a sequence of events you could never have orchestrated. But these events cannot unfold if you insist on micromanaging the process. The moment you let go, you open the door for the universe to work on your behalf. Detachment is not about giving up, it is about trusting completely. It means releasing the need to manipulate circumstances and instead resting in the knowing that what you have assumed must come to pass. It means walking through life as if your wealth is already here, not anxiously searching for proof, but living in the confidence of already having it. If you find yourself doubting, remind yourself, "I do not need to know how or when. My only work is to assume the feeling of already having and trust the unseen to arrange the details." The moment you detach from the process, things will begin to shift. Paths will open, people will be drawn to you, and circumstances will adjust in ways you could not have imagined. Trust this. Let go of control. Let the unseen forces move mountains on your behalf, for they will, if only you allow them. Wealth is not something you pursue, it is something you embody. The moment you believe wealth is outside of you, something to chase, it will always remain just out of reach. But when you understand that wealth is a state of being, you shift from striving to receiving. You do not become wealthy through effort alone. You become wealthy by assuming the identity of one who already possesses it. Everything in your life is a reflection of the state of consciousness you consistently occupy. If you see yourself as someone who is struggling, if you speak about lack, if you constantly affirm that money is difficult to obtain, then your world will reflect that belief. But the moment you assume the identity of a wealthy person, not in arrogance, but in certainty, your external world will have no choice but to conform. Ask yourself, how does a millionaire think? How do they carry themselves? What are their daily habits, their thoughts, their actions? They do not walk with hesitation, they move with confidence. They do not speak about lack, they affirm abundance. They do not look at price tags with fear, they know money is a resource that flows to them effortlessly. If you truly believe that wealth is already yours, your entire demeanor will shift. Start by adjusting the way you speak. Words shape reality, for they reveal the beliefs you hold. Stop saying, "I can't afford this," or "I wish I had more money." Instead, affirm, "Money flows to me easily," or "I always have more than enough." Even if your external circumstances seem unchanged, hold firm in this new language, for it is planting the seeds of a different reality. Then, shift the way you walk. Confidence is a sign of wealth. A wealthy person does not rush in desperation. They move with certainty, knowing that everything they desire is already theirs. Stand taller, breathe deeply, and embody the presence of one who has already achieved success. The world responds not to what you wish, but to what you are, and you must become it internally before it manifests externally. Align your thinking. Wealthy individuals do not dwell on problems, they focus on solutions. They do not see obstacles as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to greater abundance. When faced with financial challenges, ask yourself, how would a millionaire handle this? And act accordingly. Instead of shrinking in fear, step forward in faith, knowing that you have already won. Your external world is simply a mirror of the state you persist in. If you continuously occupy the mindset of one who already has millions, the world must arrange itself to match that assumption. This is not theory, it is law. Let go of the belief that wealth is something distant, something that requires years of struggle. Assume it now, live as though it is already yours, and reality will reshape itself to prove you right. You are not waiting to become wealthy, you already are. Walk, speak, and think accordingly. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is persistence. What you assume to be true, what you repeatedly claim within, must by law manifest in your outer world. But the mistake most people make is abandoning their assumption too soon. They look around, see no immediate evidence, and let doubt creep in. Doubt is the only enemy. It is the force that keeps you bound to your old reality, preventing the new from taking form. You must understand that the world you see is simply a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. If you have spent years believing in struggle, in limitation, then your external world will still reflect that for a time, even after you change your assumptions. But that does not mean your new reality is not forming. The unseen forces are at work, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, shifting the very fabric of your existence. The only thing that can stop this process is your own impatience, your own wavering in belief. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It does not sprout the moment you place it there. Days, even weeks may pass before you see evidence of growth. But the process has begun the moment you planted it. If you were to dig it up every day, questioning if it is working, you would destroy its ability to grow. The same is true for your assumptions. The moment you assume something is true, truly feel it to be real, the process begins. But if you waver, if you return to your old doubts, you halt its progress. Your only task is to persist until it hardens into fact. No matter what the outer world shows you, hold firm in your inner assumption. If your bank account still shows lack, ignore it. If circumstances seem unchanged, persist. The world has no choice but to conform to your dominant state of consciousness, but you must remain faithful to it. Many people give up just before the breakthrough. They assume wealth, they feel it, they begin to see small changes. But then a challenge arises and they fall back into fear, into worry, into doubt. They let the external world dictate their inner state, instead of understanding that their inner state is what dictates the external. This is why persistence is everything. How long must you persist? Until it is real, until the outer world bends to match your assumption. It does not matter how long it takes. What matters is that you do not waver. You do not check for evidence. You do not question. You do not seek validation from the world. You remain firm in the knowing that what you have assumed is already yours. This is the secret. Not wishful thinking, not hoping, not trying. It is knowing and persisting in that knowing until it takes form. Doubt delays, fear repels, but persistence creates. Hold your vision, and reality will be forced to conform. It is law. Gratitude is the final key that seals your reality. When you are truly grateful, you confirm that you already possess what you desire. You do not beg for it, nor do you wonder if it will come. You know it is yours. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is the ultimate act of faith. It is the silent yet powerful declaration that you have already received, and in that confirmation you accelerate the arrival of your desire into the physical world. Most people express gratitude only after they receive something, but this is backward thinking. Gratitude must come before the manifestation, not after. If you wait to be grateful only when you see evidence, then you are still operating from doubt. You are still assuming that what you want is separate from you. But when you are grateful in advance, you are stepping into the state of already having, already being, already possessing. And when you persist in that state, the world must rearrange itself to prove you right. Think of how you feel when you have already received something wonderful. There is no anxiety, no doubt, no impatience, just peace and joy. That feeling is the vibration of having, and it is what draws your desire to you faster than anything else. When you say, "Thank you for my financial abundance," even when your bank account says otherwise, you are making a declaration. You are telling the universe, "I know it is already done. I am already that person." Many people unknowingly delay their blessings because they are too focused on when and how their desire will come. They keep checking, worrying, questioning. But gratitude dissolves all of that. The moment you step into gratitude, you release the need to control. You are no longer concerned with the how because you already know it is yours. This trust creates the perfect conditions for manifestation, allowing unseen forces to move without resistance. Gratitude also shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you dwell on what you don't have, you amplify that reality. But when you focus on what you do have, even if it is only an imagination, you align yourself with more abundance. You train your mind to see opportunities, to recognize wealth, to expect success. And as you persist in this awareness, it must externalize. Each morning, before you even open your eyes, affirm, "Thank you for the millions that are already mine." Feel the joy as if it has already happened. Walk through your day in that energy, knowing that it is unfolding perfectly. Let gratitude be your proof that your reality is already shifting. This is not wishful thinking, it is law. You do not receive and then give thanks. You give thanks and then you receive. The moment you make gratitude your default state, you step into the life that was always meant for you. It is already yours. Everything you desire already exists. The wealth, the success, the abundance. It is not something you must chase, beg for, or force into being. It is something you must claim. Your imagination is the only reality, and what you persist in assuming must become your experience. Time is an illusion. The moment you accept your wealth in consciousness, it is already yours. You do not need to know how or when. Your only task is to trust. Live in the state of already having, think and walk as one who possesses millions, and persist until the world bends to match your inner conviction. Doubt is the only enemy, and gratitude is the final seal that confirms your reality. When you are grateful in advance, you accelerate the arrival of all you desire. Now, step forward with certainty. The wealth you seek is not in some distant future. It is here, now. Assume it, feel it, give thanks for it, and watch as it materializes in ways you could never have imagined. Your time has come. You will have millions. Thank you. There is a power within you that creates worlds. It is not outside of you, it is within your own consciousness. When I learned to pray, not as a beggar, but as one who already received, my world transformed. This is the prayer that made me a millionaire. I did not plead for wealth. I did not ask for money to come. I became the wealthy man in my imagination first. Every night, before sleep, I would close my eyes and enter the feeling of being a millionaire. I would see myself in a luxurious home, hear the sounds of abundance, feel the joy of financial freedom. And then I did something that most never do. I let go of how it would happen. I surrendered all doubts and rested in the certainty that my prayer was answered. It was not my job to force the process. It was my job to remain in the state of wealth. I spoke only words of success. I walked with the quiet confidence of a man who knows he is rich. I gave thanks before I saw the results, knowing that my unseen reality was more real than the visible world. Days passed, then weeks, and suddenly opportunities appeared. Doors that were once closed swung open. The right people, the right circumstances, the right ideas came effortlessly. It was never a struggle, it was a flow. This is the secret. Prayer is not asking, it is assuming. It is living in the end. The world cannot help but give you what you believe yourself to be. Tonight, when you close your eyes, do not pray as one in lack. Instead, feel the joy of already possessing all you desire. Accept it fully and let the world conform to your assumption. This is how one simple prayer made me a millionaire, and it will do the same for you. Imagination is the great secret to unlocking the wealth that already exists within you. Everything in this world, everything you see, touch, and experience, first existed as an idea, a thought, a vision within someone's mind. The wealth you desire is no different. It is not something to be chased, struggled for, or grasped desperately. It is something to be claimed in the silence of your imagination before it can manifest in the world of form. Most people believe wealth is purely a matter of action, of labor, of doing more and working harder. They spend their lives seeking external solutions to an internal process. They look to circumstances, the economy, or luck to determine whether they will be rich. But wealth is not born outside of you. It is not waiting to be given to you by some force beyond your control. It is waiting for you to accept it in consciousness. True prayer is not the act of pleading, hoping, or asking for something from a place of lack. When you beg for wealth, you are affirming that you do not have it. When you say, "Please let me be rich," you are reinforcing the idea that you are poor. The universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to the feeling behind them. If your prayer is filled with desperation, doubt, or need, then what you are truly affirming is the state of not having. The more you plead, the more you push what you desire away, for you are keeping yourself locked in the awareness of lack. Assume the feeling of already being wealthy. Close your eyes and see yourself in possession of all that you desire. Walk through the corridors of your mind as the person you wish to be. Feel the weight of wealth in your hands. Hear the sounds of abundance around you and experience the deep satisfaction of knowing it is yours. This is true prayer, not words spoken in uncertainty, but a silent, confident assumption of your wealth as already real. You do not need to figure out the path, for the path will unfold as you persist in your assumption. Those who are rich in consciousness do not struggle to find opportunities, they are drawn to them effortlessly. They do not chase wealth, it gravitates toward them. It may appear to others as luck or chance, but it is not. It is the outpicturing of an inner reality. The world must rearrange itself to reflect the assumption that dominates your mind. Consider the great inventors, visionaries, and entrepreneurs of history. None of them began with physical wealth. They began with an idea. They saw what others could not yet see. They believed in their vision so completely that the world was forced to conform. What they imagined became their reality because they refused to see the world as fixed or unchangeable. They understood that the mind is the birthplace of all riches. And so it is with you. The wealth you desire is already yours, the moment you claim it in imagination. You must train yourself to live in that state, not for a fleeting moment, not as a daydream, but as a permanent reality within. Do not entertain thoughts of lack, fear, or limitation, for they will shape your world just as surely as thoughts of abundance will. If you dwell in scarcity, scarcity will surround you. But if you abide in the consciousness of wealth, wealth must come. You may wonder, but how do I believe I am wealthy when my bank account says otherwise? This is the test of true faith. Anyone can believe in what their eyes confirm, but to truly transform your reality, you must believe in what is unseen. You must feel the truth of your wealth before it appears. You must walk as though you already possess all that you desire. And you must persist in this state regardless of what the outer world seems to show. The outer world is nothing more than a delayed reflection of your inner world. It is like a mirror, showing you only what you hold in mind. If you do not like what you see, do not fight the mirror. Change the image within. Assume wealth now, and the world will mirror it back to you in due time. This is not wishful thinking. It is a law as certain as gravity. The moment you stop seeing wealth as something distant, something you must earn through struggle, and instead recognize it as an already present reality within you, the game changes. You no longer chase money, it comes to you. You no longer strive endlessly, you align yourself with the effortless flow of abundance. You will begin to notice small shifts at first. Unexpected money appearing, new opportunities arising, people entering your life with ideas and resources that seem perfectly aligned with your desires. These are not coincidences. They are the bridge of incidents unfolding to bring you what you have already accepted in consciousness. The more you trust this process, the more rapid the results will be. But you must persist. The greatest mistake people make is to waver in their assumption, to allow doubt to creep in and undo the work of their imagination. They look to the outer world for confirmation too soon, and when they do not see immediate results, they return to their old ways of thinking. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it is growing. Hold fast to your vision. Remain faithful to the feeling of already having, and let the world catch up to your assumption. Wealth is not a matter of luck or external circumstances. It is a state of being, a frequency you align with through the power of imagination. Do not wait for signs, do not ask for permission, and do not look to the world for validation. Assume your wealth boldly, live in that reality within, and watch as the world bends to reflect your inner conviction. The secret to manifestation is not in the words you speak, but in the feeling you cultivate within. It is not enough to simply declare that you are wealthy or to repeat affirmations mindlessly, hoping that they will somehow bring riches into your life. Words without feeling are empty. They do not move the unseen forces that shape reality. But the moment you attach deep, unwavering emotion to your desire, the entire universe begins to rearrange itself to reflect that inner state. Feeling is the language of creation. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the unmanifested and the manifested. When you feel something is real, when you immerse yourself so deeply in a state that it becomes your inner truth, the world has no choice but to conform. This is the great secret that many overlook. They think if they say the right words or write down their desires 1,000 times, wealth will appear. But manifestation does not respond to words alone. It responds to the deep emotional acceptance that you already possess what you desire. Imagine for a moment that you are already a millionaire, not as a wish or a hopeful dream, but as a reality. Close your eyes and enter that state completely. How does it feel to have more money than you could ever need? To wake up every day knowing that financial freedom is yours? Do you feel peace, joy, excitement, confidence? Do you feel secure, unbothered by expenses, able to move through life without stress or worry? It is this feeling, not the words you say, that transforms your reality. Many people pray for wealth while still feeling poor. They ask for abundance while carrying the energy of lack. Their words say one thing, but their emotions tell another story. And because feeling is what truly manifests, they remain stuck in their current reality. The universe does not hear, "I am rich," if it is spoken with the energy of doubt, fear, or desperation. It hears only the dominant emotion behind the words. If you feel broke, you will continue to experience being broke. But if you feel wealthy, even before the evidence appears, wealth must come. This is where most people struggle. They look at their bank account, their circumstances, and they allow these external conditions to dictate how they feel. But this is completely backwards. Reality is a reflection of your inner state, not the other way around. If you wait for physical evidence before allowing yourself to feel wealthy, you will wait forever. The key is to generate that feeling now, to assume the state of already having, even when the outer world suggests otherwise. How do you do this? You engage your imagination so vividly that it overrides your senses. Every night before you sleep, enter the feeling of already being wealthy. See yourself in the home of your dreams, running your hands over the furniture, walking through the rooms as if they belong to you. Because they do. Feel the satisfaction of checking your bank account and seeing an amount so large that money is no longer a concern. Hear the words of friends congratulating you on your success. Feel the gratitude in your heart as you live a life of abundance. Make this inner world so real, so vivid, that your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It takes whatever feeling dominates and brings it into your external world. This is why feeling is the secret to manifestation. It is not about forcing reality to change. It is about changing within so that reality follows effortlessly. When you consistently feel as if you are already in possession of what you desire, the world must shift to match that inner conviction. This is also why so many people experience frustration with manifestation. They try to think their way into wealth rather than feel their way into it. They focus on techniques, strategies, and external actions without addressing the most important element, emotion. But the truth is, you do not need to know how your wealth will come. You do not need to plan every detail or figure out the perfect method. All you need to do is align your inner world with the feeling of already having, and the rest will take care of itself. When you move through life feeling wealthy, you begin to act differently. You make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. You attract opportunities because you radiate abundance. People respond to you in new ways. Circumstances shift, and money finds its way to you through channels you never could have predicted. But none of this happens if you continue to dwell in feelings of lack. The mind that is focused on struggle, worry, and limitation cannot create prosperity. The moment you decide to feel wealthy before the physical evidence appears, you unlock a power that few ever realize. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, you become the creator of them. You are no longer waiting for something outside of you to change. You are changing within, and in doing so, the world must reflect your new state. Do not let logic interfere. Logic will tell you that you need to see proof before you believe, that you need to work harder, that you need to struggle your way to success. But the highest truths transcend logic. The moment you feel as if you already have what you desire, the universe begins moving in ways beyond comprehension to make it so. This is why those who are truly wealthy in consciousness never chase money. They do not grasp for opportunities or operate from fear. They dwell in the feeling of abundance, and as a result, money flows to them naturally. They do not force, they do not beg, they do not struggle. They simply are wealthy long before the world confirms it. And so I ask you, can you feel it now? Can you generate within you the emotions of already possessing all that you desire? Can you let go of doubt and surrender fully to the state of already being rich? If you can, if you will persist in this feeling regardless of what the world shows you, then it is only a matter of time before your reality catches up. Your wealth is not in the future, it exists now in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. The moment you feel it deeply enough without resistance, it must become real. This is the law, this is the secret, this is the power within you. When you pray, do not pray as one who hopes, wishes, or begs. Pray as one who knows. Pray as one who understands that the moment a desire is conceived in the mind, it is already granted. There is no separation between you and that which you seek, except the illusion created by doubt and hesitation. True prayer is not pleading, it is assuming. It is the deep, unwavering conviction that what you desire is already yours, that you need not ask again, because it has been received the moment you accepted it in consciousness. Most people pray incorrectly. They ask over and over again, hoping that their request will be heard. They repeat their desires with uncertainty, pleading with an external force to grant them what they seek. But this is not prayer. It is lack. It is separation. It is the acknowledgement that what they want is still missing. And because the world only reflects back to you what you believe to be true, Their reality continues to show them lack, absence, and waiting. The key to true prayer is to move from asking to knowing. The moment you claim something in consciousness, the entire universe begins shifting to align with that assumption. It does not matter if you see no immediate change. It does not matter if the physical world appears unchanged. The law is simple. Assume that you have received and you shall receive. There is no power in doubt. There is no power in waiting. The power lies in the absolute conviction that it is already done. Imagine for a moment that you are praying for wealth. Instead of asking, instead of hoping, instead of repeating the same request night after night, enter into the state of already being wealthy. Speak as one who possesses great riches. Feel the ease, the confidence, the peace of knowing that your financial freedom is secure. Walk through life as if you already have everything you desire. Do not say, "Please make me rich." Say instead, "I am grateful for my immense wealth." Do not say, "I wish I could afford this." Say instead, "Money flows to me effortlessly." This shift is subtle, yet it holds the key to everything. Your words must align with your belief, and your belief must align with your assumption. If you truly believe something is yours, you do not beg for it, you live from it. If a man has already received what he desires, he does not continue to ask. He moves with confidence, knowing it is done. He does not question when or how it will come because he understands that it must. The world has no choice but to yield to the convictions of a mind that refuses to accept anything less than its assumption. You must embody the reality you wish to experience. If you desire love, do not ask for it. Feel as if you are already loved beyond measure. If you desire health, do not pray to be healed. Assume the state of perfect well-being. If you desire success, do not wish for opportunities. Walk through life as if they are already yours. The more deeply you accept this as truth, the faster your world will shift. Some may wonder, how can I pray as though it is already done when I see no evidence of it? This is where faith comes in. Faith is not blind belief, it is the understanding that what is unseen is more real than what is seen. The external world is merely a reflection of the internal, and it takes time for that reflection to appear. A man does not plant a seed and expect a tree to appear overnight. He knows that beneath the soil the seed is already growing. He does not dig it up each day to check if it is sprouting. He trusts in the process, knowing the tree is inevitable. In the same way, when you pray, you plant a seed in consciousness. The moment you assume it is done, the forces of creation begin working to bring it forth. You may not see the changes immediately, but they are happening beneath the surface of reality. If you hold firm to your assumption, if you refuse to waver in your knowing, then in due time, your desire will manifest. Many fail at manifestation because they pray in one moment and doubt in the next. They assume their wish fulfilled before bed, but the moment they wake up, they check their bank account, their circumstances, their external world, and they allow doubt to creep in. This is the greatest mistake. If you plant a seed and then dig it up each day to see if it has grown, it will never take root. You must trust, you must persist, you must live as though your desire is already yours, regardless of what the outer world shows you. The moment you pray as if it is already done, you shift into a new state of being. This new state begins to shape your reality in ways you cannot yet see. People, circumstances, and opportunities start moving in your favor. Paths open that were previously blocked. Events unfold in perfect alignment with your assumption. And when your desire finally appears in the physical world, you will not be surprised. You will simply smile, for you knew it was inevitable. This is the power within you. This is the true way to pray. Not as a beggar, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to feel what you desire. Assume it now. Walk as though you have already received. Speak as though it is already done. Trust in the unseen, and soon the seen will conform. The world is only a mirror, reflecting back to you what you believe to be true. Change your assumption, and you change the reflection. Move with the conviction that your desire is already yours, and the universe will bend to make it so. This is the law. This is the secret. This is how you pray. The greatest mistake people make when attempting to manifest wealth, success, or any desire is getting lost in the details of how it will happen. They obsess over the means, the steps, the logical sequences, and whether the path seems possible or not. But true creation does not require you to know how. It only requires you to know what. The moment you surrender the need to control the process, you allow the unseen forces of the universe to arrange everything in perfect order. There is an intelligence far beyond human reasoning that governs all things. It moves through the currents of life, aligning circumstances, shifting people, and opening doors that the rational mind could never conceive. When you attempt to control every detail, you limit this intelligence to the narrow possibilities that your mind can perceive. But when you surrender and trust, you open yourself to infinite ways in which your desire can be fulfilled. Consider how the seasons change without effort, how the sun rises each morning without your intervention, how the cells in your body heal and regenerate without you having to think about it. The same force that orchestrates the stars and the tides is also at work in your life, but you must allow it to operate. You must release the need to force things into place and trust that the path will unfold perfectly. Wealth, success, and abundance do not come through struggle or meticulous planning alone. They come through alignment, through the unwavering belief that it is already yours. When you assume the state of being wealthy, the world will rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. But if you constantly question how it will happen, you introduce doubt. And doubt is the only thing that can delay or prevent your manifestation. Imagine a person planting a seed in the soil. The wise person understands that the seed will grow if given time, water, and sunlight. They do not dig it up every day to check if it has sprouted. They do not question whether the process is working. They trust. They allow nature to take its course, knowing that in due time the plant will emerge. But the impatient person, the one who doubts, keeps interfering. They pull at the seed, they worry about whether it is growing, they question the process, and in doing so, they disturb its natural unfolding. The same principle applies to manifesting wealth. If you are constantly asking, how will it come? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't see results? You are digging up your own seed before it has a chance to grow. Your only responsibility is to persist in the belief that what you desire is already yours. Hold the vision, feel the reality of it, and let go of the need to figure out every detail. The means will present themselves. The right people will appear. The right opportunities will emerge. But they can only do so if you remain steadfast in your assumption. There are countless stories of people who manifested wealth in ways they could never have predicted. Some received unexpected opportunities. Some met one person who changed everything. Some stumbled upon ideas that transformed their lives. But in each case, the common thread was belief. Belief that it was already done, even when there was no evidence to support it. The mind is limited, but the unseen forces at work are not. If you try to force wealth to come in a specific way, you might block even greater opportunities that are waiting for you. It is not your job to dictate how it happens. It is only your job to align with the feeling of already having it. When you focus on the how, you send a signal that you do not fully trust the process. It is as if you are saying, I believe it is possible, but only if I can see the steps clearly. But true faith is knowing that the steps are already being arranged, even if you cannot yet see them. It is moving through life with the quiet confidence that everything is unfolding perfectly. Detachment does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting idly and waiting. It means moving through life with expectancy rather than desperation. It means taking inspired action when it feels right, but never forcing things out of fear. It means knowing that what you seek is already seeking you, and all you have to do is remain aligned with that reality. If you look at the most successful people in the world, you will notice that many of them did not know exactly how they would achieve their wealth. They did not have all the answers in the beginning. but they had a vision, they held on to it, nurtured it, and trusted that the way would reveal itself. And it did, often in ways they never could have anticipated. The greatest breakthroughs in life happen when you step into the unknown with certainty. Not certainty in the method, but certainty in the outcome. You do not need to know every turn the road will take. You only need to know that the destination is assured. Gratitude is the silent force that amplifies every blessing, seen and unseen. It is the key that unlocks the flow of abundance in your life. For when you are truly grateful, you affirm that you already possess what you seek. Gratitude is not just an emotion. It is a powerful state of being, a declaration that you are aligned with the frequency of wealth, success, and prosperity. Most people believe that gratitude should come after receiving something, a gift, a promotion, an opportunity. They wait until they see the physical evidence of abundance before they express thanks, but this is the wrong approach. Gratitude should precede the blessing, not follow it. To express thanks before you receive is to acknowledge that what you desire is already yours. It is to affirm that there is no separation between you and the wealth you seek. The secret of the truly wealthy is that they do not wait for proof to believe. They do not wait for money to show up in their bank accounts before feeling rich. They feel the reality of wealth now, in this moment, and because they do, the outer world conforms to that inner reality. The world is merely a mirror reflecting back to you the state of consciousness you occupy. If you exist in a state of gratitude, you attract more and more to be grateful for. If you exist in a state of lack and complaint, you repel the very things you desire. Think about the energy of a person who constantly complains. They look around at what they lack, they focus on what has not yet appeared, and in doing so, they reinforce the absence of their desires. The more they complain, the more reasons they find to complain. This is not because life is unfair, but because they are unknowingly using the power of their mind to create more lack. Their focus on scarcity keeps them bound to it. Now contrast this with someone who is genuinely grateful for what they have, no matter how small. They wake up each morning and give thanks for the simple things: a warm bed, the ability to breathe, the opportunities ahead. They acknowledge the good already present in their lives, and in doing so, they create the conditions for more good to flow in. They do not wait for wealth to appear before they feel rich. They feel rich now, and so wealth naturally gravitates toward them. Gratitude is not just a passive feeling. It is an active force that changes your entire vibration. When you walk through life in a state of thankfulness, you send a powerful signal to the universe. I am abundant. I am already blessed. I am open to receiving even more. This signal reshapes your reality, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with this belief. When you give a gift to someone who deeply appreciates it, who lights up with genuine joy and gratitude, you are naturally inclined to give more. Their gratitude creates an open channel for continued generosity. But if you give a gift to someone who barely acknowledges it, who takes it for granted, or even complains that it wasn't enough, you feel no desire to give again. The universe operates in much the same way. When you express gratitude, you keep the channels of abundance open. When you focus on lack, you close them. There are those who will say, but I have nothing to be grateful for. My life is filled with struggle and my desires have not yet manifested. This is precisely why they remain in a state of struggle. Gratitude is not about waiting until everything is perfect. It is about recognizing the good in the present moment and magnifying it. If you can find even one small thing to be grateful for, and you pour your full attention into that feeling, you will set in motion a chain reaction that brings even greater blessings. Gratitude must be felt deeply, not just spoken as empty words. It is not enough to mechanically list things you are thankful for while feeling unchanged inside. True gratitude shifts your energy. It fills you with a warmth, a certainty, an unshakable knowing that life is working in your favor. When you give thanks for your wealth before it appears, you bypass the limitations of the physical world. You step into the realm of creation. where what is unseen is just as real as what is seen. Wealth does not come to those who chase it with desperation, nor to those who resent its absence. It comes to those who already feel rich within. It comes to those who recognize the infinite supply of the universe and align themselves with it through gratitude. If you wish to experience financial abundance, start by cultivating gratitude now. Give thanks for every penny you have, knowing that it is a seed that will multiply. Give thanks for every opportunity, no matter how small, knowing that it is a stepping stone to greater success. Give thanks for the wealth that is already making its way to you, even if you cannot yet see it with your physical eyes. The moment you do, you will feel a shift. Your world will begin to change. This is the power of gratitude. It transforms the unseen into the seen, the imagined into the real. When you make gratitude a daily practice, not as a mere ritual, but as a true state of being, you will find that abundance flows effortlessly to you. You will no longer have to struggle or chase after wealth. It will come to you naturally, as if by divine order. The question is not whether abundance exists. It is all around you, waiting for you to claim it. The only question is whether you are aligned with it. And the simplest, most effective way to align yourself with wealth, success, and prosperity is to give thanks now, in this moment, before the evidence appears. Gratitude is the language of the wealthy. Speak it fluently, feel it deeply, and watch as the doors of abundance swing open in your life. To live in the end is to dwell in the certainty that what you have asked for is already yours. It is not hoping, not wishing, not waiting. It is knowing. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence that what exists in your imagination is just as real as what you see with your physical eyes. This is the secret to manifesting wealth or anything else you desire. Assume its reality so completely that doubt has no place in your mind. Most people pray for abundance while simultaneously entertaining thoughts of lack. They ask for riches but walk through life feeling poor. They desire success but constantly reinforce their failures through their words, emotions, and actions. This contradiction is what keeps them trapped. It is not their circumstances that hold them back, it is their divided mind. They waver between faith and fear, belief and doubt, abundance and scarcity. But manifestation requires alignment. You must be single-minded in your assumption, unwavering in your conviction. When you live in the end, you do not question whether your desire will come to pass. You do not check your bank account every day in anxiety, wondering if the money has arrived. You do not beg the universe for proof before you believe. You simply know. You accept it as truth now. You walk, speak, and act as if the wealth you seek is already in your possession. This does not mean reckless spending or pretending in a shallow way. It means carrying the energy of wealth, the posture of prosperity, the certainty of success. A millionaire does not constantly worry about money. A successful person does not live in fear of failure. If you truly believe you are wealthy, your thoughts, emotions, and actions will reflect that belief. You will move with a sense of ease, security, and confidence. You will not chase wealth. It will come to you naturally, effortlessly, because you are already living in the state where it belongs to you. Doubt is the great destroyer of prayers. It is the force that uproots your manifestations before they can take form. Every time you entertain a thought of lack, you are undoing the very work of your assumption. Every time you fear that your desire will not materialize, you are pushing it further away. This is why faith is the foundation of creation. Faith is not hoping, it is knowing. It is standing firm in the unseen reality until it becomes seen. Let go of doubt completely. The moment you assume something to be true, the world begins to rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. This process is already at work in your life, whether you are aware of it or not. Look around. Everything you experience now is a reflection of past assumptions. If your reality is filled with struggle, if your life is filled with abundance, it is because you have assumed abundance. The outer world is never the cause, it is always the effect. The cause is within you, within your imagination, your beliefs, your state of being.